Welcome back to World Information HD channel today. We're diving deep into the world of rare Lincoln Wheat pennies. Those small copper coins that could be hiding in your change jar, worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Some of these Lincoln 1-cent wheat pennies have sold for jaw-dropping prices at auctions, turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. So before you spend your next penny, you might want to make sure it's not one of these rare gems. This is Top 5 Most Valuable and Rare USA Lincoln Wheat Pennies Worth Millions You Should Look For. Let's get started. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible history, value, and secrets of one of the most iconic and valuable Lincoln Wheat pennies ever minted, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent. This tiny copper coin could be hiding in your pocket change or coin jar right now, and if you're lucky, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $38,378 or even more depending on its condition and variety. So stay tuned as we explore why this coin is so rare, what makes it valuable, how to identify special features, and how much it's selling for in today's market. You don't want to miss this. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted during the heart of World War II at the Denver Mint. The D mint mark right below the date signifies that it was struck in Denver. Over 430 million of these coins were minted that year, which makes it seem like they should be very common. But as you'll soon find out, certain errors, varieties, and conditions make some of these coins worth a fortune. Now, 1943 pennies were famously made of steel due to copper shortages during the war. But in 1944, the U.S. Mint went back to copper planchets made from recycled shell casings. These wartime alloy coins were 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, not all 1944 pennies were created equal. Some coins were struck with leftover steel planchets from 1943. And that's where things get extremely valuable. While most 1944 pennies are worth between 3 to 10 cents in circulated condition, some rare variations are worth tens of thousands of dollars. The value of the coin is determined by 3 key factors: mint errors, high grade, condition, historical rarity. Let's break these down. Point 1. Mint errors. The holy grail of 1944 pennies is the 1944 steel cent, a genuine error where a 1944 penny was struck on a leftover 1943 steel planchet instead of copper. Only a few examples are known to exist, and one of them sold for over $115,000 at auction. Another error is the 1944 DDO, or double die obverse. In this variety, you can see slight doubling on Lincoln's profile and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." These are rare and highly collectible. Point 2. Condition. Collectors pay a premium for coins in excellent condition. A 1944 penny in mint state 67 red, MS 67 RD, with perfect luster and no wear is extremely rare. These coins can fetch anywhere from $5,000 to over $38,000, especially if certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Point 3. Rarity and demand. Even though the mintage was high, very few high-grade or error coins have survived to this day. That rarity, combined with collector demand, drives the price up significantly. And since Lincoln cents are one of the most widely collected coin series, the demand for rare varieties like the 1944 is strong. Let's take a closer look at the specifications of the standard 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny. Designer: Victor David Brenner. Weight: 3.11 grams. Composition: 95% copper, 5% zinc. Diameter: 19.05 mm. Plain mint mark, D, below the date. Minted in Denver. Estimated mintage, 430,578,000. But remember, the real value lies in the high-grade condition or error varieties. Let's talk money. As of now, in 2025, the average circulated 1944 Lincoln penny is only worth about 5 to 15 cents. However, uncirculated examples can bring in anywhere from $5 to $500 depending on the grade. Now here's the exciting part. A 1944 penny graded MS 67 red has sold for as much as $38,378 at a major coin auction. A steel 1944 penny, one of the rarest mint errors, has sold for over $100,000, and some experts believe prices could go higher as fewer pieces are discovered. Even mid-grade era coins, like the 1944 DDO or off-center strikes, can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 easily. Collectors and investors continue to search for these gems because they combine historical value, rarity, and beauty, a powerful mix that makes coins like the 1944 D penny so desirable. How to identify a valuable 1944 D penny? If you think you've found a 1944 D penny, here are some quick steps to check if it might be worth big money. Check the weight. A regular copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. A steel planchet version will weigh only 2.7 grams and stick to a magnet. Inspect with a magnifier. Look closely at the date, lettering, and Lincoln's profile for signs of doubling or errors. Look at the color. Coins that are bright red and uncirculated are more valuable. Brown or dull coins typically bring less. Certification. Consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for grading if you believe you have a rare or high-grade coin. Certified coins sell for much higher at auctions. Consult price guides. Check online marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or PCGS Coinfax to compare similar sales and values. You might be wondering, how do you even find a valuable 1944 D penny? Here are some places to look. Old family coin jars or penny banks, estate sales and garage sales, antique shops and flea markets, coin rolls from banks, inherited coin collections, online auctions. Make sure they're verified sellers. Many collectors have struck gold just by checking their old change. Imagine finding a coin worth tens of thousands just lying in a drawer. So there you have it, the full story of the 1944 D Lincoln Wheat penny, a humble 1-cent coin that could be hiding a fortune. Whether it's a rare mint error, a near-perfect mint state, or just an exciting piece of U.S. history, this penny is a reminder that treasure can still be found in the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into rare and valuable coins. Let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare penny, or if you're going to go dig through your coin jar after this. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting! Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, specifically the 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny. You may have heard stories about old pennies being worth a fortune, and you might be wondering, could I have one of these in my pocket or coin jar? Well, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about the 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny, including its incredible value today, its historical importance, how to identify one, and why some rare specimens have sold for as much as $24,899. Let's begin with a bit of background. In 1945, the United States was still in the grip of World War II. Although the war officially ended in September of that year, the effects of wartime economics heavily influenced the country, including coin production. The U.S. Mint was producing large numbers of coins to support a booming wartime economy. The Lincoln Wheat penny was among the most widely circulated coins at the time. Millions were struck, but some have stood the test of time and become incredibly valuable to collectors. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins do not carry a mint mark, and those are what we refer to as no mint mark coins. In total, over 1 billion pennies were struck in 1945, with more than 1,040,515,000 coming from the Philadelphia Mint alone. Now, with such a high mintage number, you might wonder, why would any 1945 penny be worth nearly $25,000? The answer lies in a combination of factors, including condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand. First, let's talk about design. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design continued through 1958 before being replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. On the reverse side of the 1945 penny, you'll find 2 wheat ears, one on each side of the words 1 cent, giving the coin its common nickname, the Wheat penny. Now let's talk about value. Most circulated 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies are only worth between 5 and 50 cents depending on where. However, uncirculated and rare era coins from this year can be worth hundreds, even thousands. And in some very specific and high-grade cases, they can skyrocket in value. Here's where things get interesting. In 2021, a pristine, high-grade 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS68 Plus red by PCGS sold for an astounding $24,899 at auction. That's right, nearly $25,000 for a single penny. So what made this coin so valuable? It comes down to the coin's condition and eye appeal. MS68 Plus red is one of the highest possible grades for a coin. The coin exhibited full mint red luster, no significant marks, and pristine surfaces. Only a handful of 1945 Lincoln pennies exist in such a high grade, making them extremely rare and desirable to collectors willing to pay a premium for near-perfect examples. Let's talk about coin grading briefly. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded 70 is flawless under 5x magnification. Anything graded above MS65 is already considered gem condition. So a coin graded MS68 Plus red is essentially in museum quality condition. That level of preservation for a coin that's 80 years old is incredibly rare and accounts for the high price. But that's not the only way your 1945 penny could be worth a fortune. Another factor that drives value is mint errors. During the minting process, various mistakes can occur. These are known as mint errors, and collectors love them. Some rare and valuable error types found on 1945 wheat pennies include double die averse. This occurs when the coin die strikes the planchet twice, slightly off alignment, resulting in visible doubling in the lettering or date. If you spot doubling in the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date, 1945, you could be looking at a very valuable coin. Off-center strikes. If the penny was not aligned properly during minting, it might appear off-center. Depending on how off-center the coin is and how much of the design is still visible, values can range from $100 to several $1,000s. BIE error. This is a common die break that appears between the B and E in the word Liberty, forming what looks like an I. While not as valuable as other errors, BIE errors are still collectible and can bring in $10 to $50 or more. Die cracks or cuds. These are raised lines or blobs on the surface of the coin caused by damaged dies. While not always high in value, the more dramatic the error, the higher the price. Struck on the wrong planchet. A very rare type of error where a penny is struck on a dime, nickel, or even foreign coin planchet. These can bring thousands depending on the metal and rarity. Let's not forget about color and toning. Collectors grade wheat pennies by their color as well: red, red-brown, or brown. Red pennies are the most desirable, meaning they still maintain their original mint luster. Brown coins are the most common. Red-brown coins fall in between. A full red designation on a high-grade 1945 penny can dramatically increase its value. That's exactly what helped boost that $24,899 coin to its record price. So what should you do if you think you have a 1945 no-mint mark wheat penny? Here's a quick checklist. Step 1. Inspect the coin under good lighting. Look for signs of mint red luster. If it still looks shiny and reddish, that's a good sign. Step 2. Check for visible errors like doubling, cracks, or off-center features. Step 3. If you suspect you've found something rare or high-grade, do not clean the coin. Cleaning a coin can significantly reduce its value. Step 4. Compare your coin to certified examples online. Use auction houses like Heritage Auctions or grading services like PCGS or NGC as references. Step 5. If it looks promising, submit your coin to a professional grading service. Getting your coin officially graded and certified is the best way to validate its value and attract serious buyers. In summary, while most 1945 no-mint mark wheat pennies are common and worth just a few cents, a small number of them, those in exceptional condition or with rare mint errors, are incredibly valuable. Some have sold for thousands, and one, in nearly flawless condition, fetched $24,899 at auction. So next time you're digging through old change, take a closer look. That humble wee penny might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, please give it a thumbs up, share it with other coin collectors, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or want us to cover a specific coin next. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking your change. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating history and incredible value of one of the most surprising finds in American numismatics, the 1953 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny. This humble little coin, often overlooked in circulation, has become a shining gem for collectors and investors. Why? Because some rare examples of the 1953 no-mint mark penny are now commanding prices as high as $21,999 on the current market. That's right, a single 1-cent coin could change your life. So grab your coin jars, flip open your folders, and check your drawers, because by the end of this video, you might just discover that you're holding a hidden treasure. Let's begin with a little background. The origins of the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny. The Lincoln Wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and since then, it has become one of the most iconic coins in American history. By 1953, the Lincoln Wheat penny had already been in production for over 4 decades. But what makes the 1953 issue so interesting, especially the one without a mint mark, is not just its age, it's the story behind its production and the remarkable qualities of certain rare specimens. Where was it minted? In 1953, Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, mint mark D; San Francisco, mint mark S. The Philadelphia Mint, as was customary at the time, did not place a mint mark on its coins. So when we talk about a 1953 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny, we are referring to coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Over 256 million pennies were struck in Philadelphia in 1953. So you might be wondering, if there were so many made, why is it worth so much money? That's a great question, and the answer lies in rarity, condition, and unique errors. Why the 1953 no-mint mark penny is valuable. While hundreds of millions were made, most of those coins were circulated heavily. They picked up scratches, wear, and corrosion over the years. What makes some of these coins rare, and extremely valuable, is their mint state condition and certain errors that slip through the minting process. Let's break it down. Point 1. Condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless, mint state coin. If you find a 1953 no mint mark penny in your collection, the first thing to check is the condition. Circulated coins in average condition are typically worth between 5 cents and $1. However, if you discover a 1953 penny in uncirculated or near mint state, the value climbs significantly. Here's how value increases by grade: VF20, very fine around 20 cents to $0.50, EF40. Extremely fine around 75 cents to $1.50, AU50. Almost uncirculated $2 to $5, MS60. Mint state $10 to $25, MS65. Gem mint state $75 to $200 plus. But here's where it gets wild. A 1953 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny graded at MS67 or higher, especially with original red coloration, has sold for over $21,999 at major auctions like Heritage and Stack's Bowers. Point 2. Full red designation. Many collectors don't realize that copper coins, like the Lincoln penny, change color over time due to oxidation. Coins are graded with color designations like red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. A 1953 penny with full red luster, meaning it still shines as it did when it was minted, is exponentially more valuable than a brown or red-brown example. Why? Because they're rare. Out of hundreds of millions minted, only a small handful survived for 70-plus years in original mint red condition. So if you come across a red, spotless 1953 no mint mark penny, you could be looking at thousands of dollars. Point 3. Error coins and rare varieties. Now here's where things get exciting. Several mint errors and die varieties have been discovered among 1953 pennies. These errors are extremely collectible and can skyrocket the value of the coin. Some of the most valuable 1953 error coins include double die adverse, DDO, look for doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust, as well as the date. These coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on grade. Off-center strikes. Coins that were not properly aligned during minting and appear partially blank or skewed can be worth up to $500 or more depending on the percentage of misalignment. Repunched mint mark, RPM, even though Philadelphia coins don't have mint marks. Some collectors confuse these with Denver or San Francisco coins with visible RPMs, so keep an eye on those too. BIE error. This is a die break between the letters B and E in Liberty, which creates the appearance of an I. These are fun to find and can fetch $5 to $50 depending on condition. Point 4. Grading and authentication. If you believe you have a valuable 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys its original surface and drastically reduces its value. Instead, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. If it receives a high grade, especially in the MS67 to MS68 range with full red designation, you could be sitting on a jackpot. Real auction sales. Here are a few real-world sales to prove just how much these coins can go for. A 1953 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny graded MS67 Plus RD by PCGS sold for $21,999 at a heritage auction in recent years. Another similar example in MS67 RD condition went for $13,800, and even slightly lower graded ones like MS66 RD often sell for over $1,000. These prices are not hypothetical. They are real figures from major coin auctions. What should you do now? Start by checking your coin collections. Look in old jars, piggy banks, inherited coin boxes, or estate sales. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Pay special attention to the date, 1953 no mint mark full red luster. Any signs of doubling or striking errors. If your coin looks uncirculated or has a shiny, reddish appearance, consider getting it graded. Even if it doesn't hit the $21,999 jackpot, it could still fetch hundreds or thousands. The 1953 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny proves that everyday coins can be extraordinary. What seems like just another penny might actually be a rare collector's dream worth a fortune. And in the case of this coin, condition, rarity, and error details can elevate a 1-cent piece to nearly $22,000. That's it for today's deep dive into the 1953 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny. If you learned something new or discovered a hidden gem in your own collection, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, values, and hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting, keep flipping those coins, and remember, treasure is often found in the smallest of places. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures that may be sitting in your pocket change. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic and surprisingly valuable coins in American history, the 1954 Lincoln Wheat cent. Yes, that small copper penny with a D mint mark beneath the date could actually be worth thousands of dollars today. Some collectors have paid up to $20,009 for one in top condition. How is that even possible? Let's break it all down, from its history and rarity to what makes certain 1954 Lincoln cents so incredibly valuable in today's coin market. First, let's start with the basics. The Lincoln Wheat cent, also known as the Lincoln Wheat penny, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature the likeness of a real person. The wheat reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958. after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design starting in 1959. But among all those years, the 1954 D issue holds a special place in collectors' hearts, especially in high-grade condition. So what exactly does the D mint mark stand for? That letter below the year 1954 indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the three main facilities of the United States Mint at the time, along with Philadelphia and San Francisco. In 1954, the Denver Mint produced over 251 million Lincoln wheat pennies, which makes it seem like a very common coin. And for the most part, circulated examples of the 1954 D are indeed common. So why are some of them worth so much money? The secret lies in the quality, rarity of condition, and in some cases, rare errors. While hundreds of millions of these coins were minted, the vast majority were used in everyday circulation. That means most of them suffered from wear, scratches, discoloration, and other signs of age. But a tiny fraction of 1954 D pennies were preserved in pristine condition, known in the coin world as mint state, or uncirculated condition. And it's those top-grade examples that drive serious value in the collector's market. Let's talk about grading. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-60 is in uncirculated condition, but an MS-65 or higher means it's in near-flawless condition with original luster and very few, if any, contact marks. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And this is exactly where things get interesting for the 1954 D penny. While a regular worn version may only be worth a few cents to a few dollars, an MS-67 or MS-68 red version, which means it still has its original reddish copper color, can command a value of over $10,000 or more at auction. In fact, one of the highest recorded sales of a 1954 D Lincoln wheat cent happened at a major coin auction where a stunning MS-67 Plus red specimen sold for a jaw-dropping $20,009. That's right, $20,000 for a penny. Why? Because the coin was in immaculate condition, fully struck, blazing red in color, and certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. For collectors, a coin like that is nearly impossible to find, making it a true trophy piece. But condition isn't the only factor that can increase the value. Certain era coins from the 1954 D issue are also extremely collectible. Some known errors include double die obverse, repunched mint marks, also called RPMs, off-center strikes, and die cracks. One example is the 1954 D/DRPM, a coin where the D mint mark was punched twice slightly offset, creating a clear visual doubling of the D. These coins are rare and highly sought after, with values ranging from $50 to several $100s, depending on the clarity of the error and the condition of the coin. Another reason collectors chase these coins is nostalgia. The wheat penny era represents a golden age in U.S. coinage for many collectors. It's not just about the metal value, which, by the way, is mostly copper in this case, it's about history, design, and scarcity. Holding a mint-condition penny from 1954 is like holding a time capsule from a different era in American life. The post-war boom, the rise of television, the days when pennies still had purchasing power. So how can you tell if your 1954 D Lincoln cent is worth something big? First, check the color. Coins come in three general color designations: brown, red-brown, and red. The redder the coin, the higher the value, assuming it's uncirculated. Next, look at the condition. If it has no signs of wear and strong details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and the wheat stalks on the reverse, it might be in mint state condition. Finally, check for errors, especially double dies or repunched mint marks. If you think you've found something special, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded and authenticated by PCGS, NGC, or Annex. So what's the current market value of the 1954 D Lincoln wheat penny in 2025? For a circulated coin in average condition, the value ranges from 5 cents to $1 depending on the grade. But in mint state red condition graded MS-65 or higher, values jump quickly to between $100 and $1,500. And once you get into the ultra-high grades of MS-67 and above, especially with a red color designation, the value can exceed $10,000, with the record price still standing at $20,009. To wrap it all up, the 1954 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic example of how ordinary-looking coins can turn out to be worth a fortune under the right conditions. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just checking your change jar out of curiosity, always keep an eye out for these gems. Who knows? That old penny you've had lying around for decades might just be your ticket to a $20,000 payday. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin insights, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a treasure hunting opportunity. Until next time, keep checking your pocket change. You never know what you might find. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history, the 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. This ordinary-looking coin from the World War II era has taken the world by storm in recent years, with collectors paying tens of thousands of dollars for the finest examples. In fact, one of these pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $34,899. But why? What makes this penny so special? And how can you tell if you have one sitting in your change jar right now? Let's get into it. Let's take a step back to understand the context in which the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted. The year was 1944. America was in the middle of World War II. Copper was a vital material used in wartime production, for ammunition casings, communication wiring, and essential equipment. In 1943, to conserve copper, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of steel coated with zinc. These 1943 steel cents are famous today, but they came with problems. The coins rusted easily, stuck to magnets, and were often mistaken for dimes. Public complaints piled up. So in 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for the Lincoln Wheat Penny. But here's the twist: instead of using pure copper, the Mint melted down spent shell casings collected from battlefields and military training grounds. That's right, the 1944 pennies are literally made from the remnants of war. These pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. The Philadelphia version is the one with no mint mark, and that's the one we're focusing on today. The 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny features the classic design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. On the obverse front of the coin, you'll see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust." Along the upper rim, Liberty, to the left, and the year, 1944, to the right. Since it was struck in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark beneath the date. The reverse, back, features 2 wheat ears, one on each side, curving upward to form an arch. In the center, you'll find the words 1 cent and United States of America. And along the top is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. These coins were composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, with each coin weighing about 3.11 grams. Now here's the surprising part. While the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not technically rare in terms of mintage, over 1.4 billion were produced, the condition and specific variations of the coin can make it incredibly valuable. The key factor is condition. Most of the 1944 pennies were circulated heavily. That means they have scratches, wear, and loss of detail. But the few that remain in pristine condition, known as mint state, are extremely rare. Coin grading plays a massive role in value. A 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny in average circulated condition is worth just a few cents to $1. However, in uncirculated, mint-state condition, especially graded MS-66 or MS-67 by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, this coin can bring thousands of dollars. On top of that, there are errors and varieties. Some 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on steel planchets left over from 1943. These 1944 steel cents are ultra-rare and can be worth hundreds of thousands. But even regular copper pennies from 1944 with no mint mark can fetch very high prices if they're flawless. So how much are these pennies actually selling for? Let's look at the numbers. In 2021, a 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny graded MS67 red by PCGS sold at auction for an astounding $34,899. That's right, nearly $35,000 for a 1-cent coin. Another example sold for over $20,000 in a heritage auction, and several others in mint-state condition regularly fetch $3,000 to $15,000, depending on grade and color. Coins graded as red, RD, are especially valuable because they retain their original copper luster. Coins with brown, BN, or red-brown, RB, designations are less valuable but still collectible. So when you hear that a 1944 penny sold for nearly $35,000, you're hearing about one of the highest grade, best preserved examples in existence. How to check if you have any? Now you're probably wondering, could you have a 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny worth thousands? Here's how to find out. Step 1. Check the date and mint mark. Look for 1944 on the front of the coin. Make sure there is no mint mark underneath the date. Step 2. Examine the color. A red coin is more valuable than a brown one. Red coins have been well preserved and never entered circulation. Step 3. Inspect the condition. If the coin is scratched, dented, or worn down, it will be worth less. If it looks sharp, detailed, and clean, especially if it still has its original luster, it might be worth grading. Step 4. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling of letters, off-center strikes, or signs the coin might be struck on a steel planchet. A magnet can help. Copper pennies won't stick to a magnet, but steel ones will. Step 5. Get it graded. If your coin looks uncirculated, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. The grade can make or break the value. The 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny is a perfect example of how history, war, and craftsmanship come together in the world of coin collecting. While most of these coins are common and worth only a few cents, the rarest examples, especially those in near-perfect condition, are worth thousands, and in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars. So the next time you're sorting through old change or going through inherited coin collections, don't overlook the humble penny. You might just be holding onto a small piece of history, worth $34,899. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the value and story of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next treasure hunting adventure. Until next time, happy collecting!